Hello, friends. The 774th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Russian pressure continues in the Avdiivka area. In yesterday's video, I said that in Berdychi, we managed to repel an enemy attack in the northern part, and that he is trying to attack here with a wide coverage. Today, unfortunately, the Russians managed to capture the entire Centralna Street in the village. The enemy's advance is recorded in an area up to 1.03 kilometers wide and to a depth of up to 350 meters. The enemy in Berdychi continues to press in the direction of the intersection of Centralna and Kazberova streets, where the main battles are currently taking place. No changes have been recorded in Stepanenko. Russian attacks in the direction of Umansky and Yasnobrodivka have so far been repelled. Apparently, the Russians here will try to level the front line in the near future by expanding the resulting ledge. After occupying the field reservoir, they will try to advance to the second field reservoir. Next, their goal is to level the front line, attacking from the direction of Vodiany and the same field reservoirs. To the south, very heavy fighting is taking place in Novomykhailivka. The Russians in the mechanized holiday village continue to press in a westerly direction. Here the enemy's advance to a depth of 1.1 kilometers is recorded. In Novomykhailivka itself, the Russians attack along Centralna Street, where they also advance to a depth of 400 meters. The situation in the area remains difficult. Today, Zelensky, during a video meeting with ambassadors of the charity platform United 24, said that without the support of the U.S. Congress, which must approve military assistance, it will be difficult for Ukraine not only to win, but also to survive as an independent state. Without this support from Congress, it will be difficult for us not only to win, but even to stay. Therefore, it is important to do very specific things together, the president said. Ukraine may have to cede some tactical territory and retreat to more defensible positions. CNN writes about this with reference to Ekaterina Stepanenko, an expert at the American Institute for the Study of War. She said retreat could occur in some combat scenarios. The reason is a lack of shells and personnel. The most favorable scenario for Ukraine at the current level of Western assistance is stabilization of the front, says Matthew Schmidt, assistant professor of national security at the University of New Haven. The only variable that can change this is a major Russian mistake, but counting on your enemy to make a mistake has never been a good strategy, Schmidt added. CNN writes that Ukraine is also not ready to take advantage of these mistakes. Russian forces lost at least 3 mechanized divisions during the campaign for Avdiivka, and Ukraine was unable to counterattack around Avdiivka and exploit the conditions of Russian exhaustion, Stepanenko said. Therefore, in her opinion, Ukraine has no choice but to dig in and try to the best of its ability to anticipate where, when, and with what intensity Russian troops will attack next time. Ukraine expects Russia to intensify offensive actions in late spring, early summer, primarily near Donetsk. The head of the main intelligence directorate, Budanov, stated this in an interview with the German television channel ARD. The Russians will move a little towards Chasiv Yar. They will move towards the city of Pokrovsk, the strategic direction of Pokrovsk, Budanov said. At the same time, he believes that there will be no significant changes at the front before the expected Russian offensive begins. The situation is quite complicated, but it is under control. Unlike many military experts, Budanov does not rule out a Ukrainian offensive this year. However, he did not speak in more detail on this topic, citing the fact that responsibility for this area lies with the General Staff. Let me remind you that Zelensky also said earlier that Russia could launch an offensive in late spring or early summer. Ukraine is not prepared to defend against another major Russian offensive expected in late May or June, he told CBS News. In this interview, Zelensky said that Ukraine's armed forces have now managed to hold back Russia's offensive during the worst winter months and stabilize the situation. But he says that it is difficult for the Ukrainian army to fight Russia because its artillery is longer range, and Ukraine has a huge shortage of both artillery and shells. We didn't have ammunition, artillery, shells, a lot of different things, he said, stressing that while his troops have managed to hold off the Russians so far, they are not prepared to defend against another major Russian offensive expected in the coming months, wrote CBS News. Friends, preparing these daily reports has become my full-time job, and I have no other job for obvious reasons. There have been few views on the channel lately, which is why I ask for your help. If you have the opportunity to support me financially, I would be very grateful. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.